I want to talk about certs, right? I think this
Mm,
industry, like the alliances have got, has got a lot of affiliations and MOUs and partnerships with different certifications and accreditation organizations out there. There's a lot. I mean,
mm,
it's shaping the industry, but it's arguably diluting the industry as well, right? I don't know how many certs you've obtained or what's on your agenda for the next couple of years, but is there any certs in particular that you've seen really make a difference, really be quite applicable to your abilities moving into this industry, and obviously as you're flourishing, is there anything that stood out for you then potentially has gone, yeah, that was really worthwhile? I don't want to go down the negative route of going, is there anything that have not? But yeah, is there anything that stands out? I think people get sold on a lot of these certifications, right? And potentially may not be as valuable as what they perceived, right?
no, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're also very expensive. So
Mm,
I find often people are going, okay, cool, I've only got X amount to spend at the moment. Where should I go? Because that X amount, while being arguably quite a large number, is only one cert because
mm-hmm.
all those certifications are very
Yeah.
expensive. So I think, yeah, for myself, just kind of starting, yeah, from what I have at the moment. So yeah, a little bit of background. I never grew up particularly computer nut or anything of that. I'm not a big gamer, which is weird in the cyber industry. Most people are because that's kind of where their love for computers and networking and everything kind of formed. I was never
Mm-hmm.
that kid, but I grew up in a cyber household. My dad's been in cyber, so I've just kind of been surrounded by the industry from that perspective. So I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of where the journey started. Then I went to university and I've got a BCom business management. I mean it's the furthest thing from tech you can you can get. Cool, come out of matric. Not 100% sure what to do, but a degree helps. So went off and and did
Yeah.
that. Got halfway through and was going, actually, you know what? Like this whole cyber thing, this techie side of life seems quite cool. And I enjoy it. Like the industry's booming, everything from that nature. That's really cool. So let's give it a go. Let's kind of see what happens. I was halfway through my degree at that point. There was no point in me switching and potentially adding a year or anything of that nature. So I was like,
Yeah.
cool, let's do some things on the side, a little bit of research. Nothing particular in terms of certifications or anything from that front. More of a let's just look around, watch some YouTube, do some free courses, just see if I dip my big toe in it, is it something that I potentially want to take another step? So yeah, I finished up my degree, then
Okay.
went through that. I decided, cool, after my little bit of research and chatting to my dad and everything, this is something that I want to go into. This would be cool. So because I didn't have that base networking knowledge, I hopped onto CompTIA. I did their Network Plus, a whole certification and exam process.
Mm-hmm.
I've obtained that. I think anyone who doesn't have that
Mm-hmm.
basic, like, yeah, very kind of lower, and I'm going to throw low level in inverted commas because it's just when I say low, I more mean foundational level of networking because it carries across to so many
Mm-hmm.
areas within cyber. Again, being able to have that lateral knowledge to know where things connect in from a hardware networking
Yeah.
perspective is very, very useful. So I did that. And then through work at the moment, I did my PCB ISO 27001 implementer course. So I've got that. So it's obviously very relevant
Mm-hmm. Of
to being in the certification space. I've got one or
course.
two little ones here and there
Yeah.
from like little training courses in terms of we use a tool called Black Kite's open source intelligence scanning for vendor assessments and everything, and it's really
I
cool.
know.
So I
Yeah.
did their whole little tutorial and got a little certificate afterwards. So that was cool. I think take certs wherever you can get them, especially in that case it was free because we paid for the tool, so it came with it. So I was like, cool, I'll throw my hand up for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for, you know, the more certs the better, and more from a front of not I want you to have 7 acronyms at the end of your name on LinkedIn. More from a cool, you've got the knowledge.
Yeah.
This just verifies that. I understand that yes, you've got a years of experience.
Yeah.
That's cool. and I'm sure you have the knowledge and everything, but unfortunately, I don't chat to you first in a job kind of process. There's that CV that hits my table, and I can see a couple certifications,
Hmm.
and that just tells me, okay, cool, that verifies the knowledge that X person has. That's very so
Yeah.
I view certifications more from that front on a verification process of the knowledge, as opposed to it's the be all end all. I don't like that kind of front from it. I've seen a lot of
Hmm.
people with many certifications that aren't necessarily as well equipped for a day to day, actually in the thick of it, than other people who have immense amount of knowledge and experience and everything from that front, but they don't have the certifications purely because it's 90% of the time it's a financial thing, because like work wasn't paying for it or something like that, and they're very
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
expensive. So
yeah, yeah.
there's definitely that balance that you have to find in terms of certifications, though, from like my perspective, that we're seeing a lot kind of coming into the industry, and like, coming in, but also what people are looking for is your CompTIA
Hmm.
Security Plus is actually becoming very, very common to see on job like requirements in their thing, is or like
Hmm.
required certifications or wanted certifications. Is your S Plus is becoming very big, and it's one that I'm planning on doing. That's probably my like next big one that I'll go for. I would recommend people go the N plus route first if they
Nice.
don't have that networking knowledge. If you've got that networking knowledge and you kind of understand that maybe you're coming from a a networking background, or you were a system admin, or something of that nature, then definitely hurdle that one. All good. Go to the Security Plus. Again, they're expensive, so be a bit picky. So if you've got that base foundation, good to go.
Hmm.
But then there's the aspect of, I wouldn't say just jump in it because you want to fast track your development, even though you've got zero networking knowledge. You're going to spend a lot of time like having to or learn that knowledge in order to progress further from that front. And I'd recommend
Hmm.
rather starting off on that foundational standpoint there. I know from, I mean, yeah, latest trend in the industry, everyone wants to be a pen tester because everyone wants to be a hacker. It's the latest and greatest
Yeah.
for sure. And I mean, I love it. It is very interesting and very cool. But unfortunately, not everyone can be. We need people in other areas. But I also think people often see that as
Yeah.
their foot in the door from that perspective. And definitely, yeah,
An entry
because
point.
it's a fairly straightforward path in that sense. And I say straightforward loosely because there's no real straightforward path into cyber. I mean, I got a BCom. Like it's the
No.
there's no definite path into cyber. So from that front, though, I think people view it as a straightforward like kind of path, because you can go cool CompTIA Pen Test Plus, or you go like the big one is your OSCP, which everyone, I mean, it is kind of the gold standard from a pen testing perspective, but
Hmm.
it's also like 30,000 Rand, which I know you sitting up in Europe land, when when you convert it to euros and pounds, it's a little bit better, but it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, but
Like,
still, isn't it?
Mhm.
Any spend has to be
Exactly, yeah.
justified, doesn't it? And that's the reality. And it's not. It's.
Mhm.
I mean, what
Mhm.
price do you put on your own development?
Mhm.
It's difficult to put it on there. But I think what I've taken from what you're saying there is certifications
Mhm.
become a necessity rather than
Yes,
just doing them. I think there's huge appetite to bolster that CV, and everyone wants to
for
be on
sure.
that higher ticket and earning more and more and more. And sometimes it's important to be
Mhm.
recognized by a HR department on what they
For sure.
recognize as competency, right? And certifications are a tangible way of doing that. But yeah, no, I like how you've
Mhm.
so far I've sort of applied yourself to the
Mhm.
certifications that are required to fulfill your role
Yes, it's very much
competently,
that
right?
front. It's not a just rack up certifications for the sake of them. Again, they are expensive, so you got to get a bit picky. So where do you want to go?
Mhm.
Chat to someone in that industry, chat to what they seeing coming out, and even if it's a random
Mhm.
a cold message on LinkedIn, like do it enough, you'll get a reply. So
Mhm.
so there's that perspective. So you kind of see what the industry standard is, and then go on that route. Definitely, for sure. I think there is an element, like you said, HRC's X. certification as a competency, and that's definitely a factor. I don't think you could do it without certifications. It's definitely something that is needed. That's kind of without a doubt. I don't see that not being like you coming from absolute blank. And yes, I'm a big believer in
Yeah.
you can learn anything off Google and YouTube. So like you can do that, but again, it's the verification of that, because you can tell me that, but that
Yeah.
assumes we're getting to the interview stage.
Prove it.
If you're not getting to that,
Yeah, exactly.
you
You
got
have
to
to
get
prove
to
it,
that.
don't you?
So that's the tough one, and often see that being the case of people coming, well, I don't know what to do because I don't know what the industry standard is. Ask, like I said, just
Yeah.
email someone, find a LinkedIn, do anything of that nature. Even if you just go onto LinkedIn, look at the jobs, look at what their requirements are of the jobs that you want, and then go, cool, how do I fill as many of those requirements? Obviously, like within budget and everything from that perspective. And that's very much your stepping stones. It's a very simple kind of way
Yeah.
of going, cool. If I can tick said boxes, then at least I can I can apply and I can have a good shot at it. So I think that would definitely be my kind of
Yeah.
recommendation number one. If you don't want to chat to anyone or anything of that nature, you don't need to. It's a fairly easy process from that perspective. Yeah. And then if work's going to pay for any certifications once you do have a job, milk it. Absolutely milk it, because they get the tax write-off and it's brilliant. So win-win from that perspective.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's a win-win, isn't it?
invest in
It's a
yourself
win-win.
like you need to.
No, thanks, mate, for that. That's great. Mate, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. This initiative has been born off the back of my chats with yourself and Warren and Jabu more recently. There's an opportunity for myself with the alliances to be able to nurture the next generation and to create a platform for them to leverage and benchmark against each other and collaborate earlier in their careers rather than when they're at the top, which is where I've entered with the alliances, right? So I'm really grateful to you guys for embracing it and committing time to it when you have the time, which I know you don't have much of. But yeah, great to chat with you, mate. Thanks very much for your insights. For the listeners, I hope you found some affinity to it or sparked an opportunity for you to get involved in something like this or with us. Please do reach out if you want to do that. But I'll leave you get back to your Friday, Jared. Enjoy the weekend, mate, and thanks
Thank
very
you.
much for the time.
Thanks to the listeners and everything. If you do want to reach out and chat or anything of that nature, pop me a message on LinkedIn. Very always keen to chat, Cyber. Thank you, Lee, for your time. And enjoy the rest of your Friday and weekend further.